put your credit card down. Seriously, step away from the checkout page. If you're about to spend money on a new phone, laptop, tablet, or drone right now, you are about to make a very expensive mistake. Because April 20th, 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most hardware-dense months in recent tech history, and almost everything on store shelves today is about to get completely outclassed. We're talking a 200-megapixel camera phone from OPPO, a budget iPhone that already launched and makes every discounted older model a waste of money. A DJI drone that just dropped recently, shoots in full 8K spherical video, and immediately blew up every other FPV drone on the market. And a Lenovo workstation with 48 cores and enough GPU power to run a small film studio. All of it dropping right now or within the next few weeks. So before you spend a single dollar, here's every major device you need to know about. If you want to see my thoughts on these when they launch, consider subscribing. Anyway, let's get started. OnePlus 15T 5G, the Pocket Powerhouse. Let's kick things off with something that just dropped in China on March 24th, and it already has other flagships worried. Now, quick heads up for my US viewers. OnePlus might be keeping this one out of the States, but for my international crowd, the OnePlus 15T is a device you need to know about. It packs a 6.32-inch AMOLED display with a blistering 165Hz refresh rate and 3,600 nits of peak brightness. One hand-friendly size, but don't let the compact form fool you. Inside, you'll find the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, the same chip powering the Galaxy S26 series, built on 3 Nm with Orion Gen 3 cores running up to 4.6 GHz. The stat that floored everyone, a 7,500 mAh silicon carbon battery squeezed into a body just 8.4 mm thin. That's 2 days of real-world usage with 100-watt wired and 50-watt wireless charging to top you back up fast. The camera system runs dual 50-megapixel sensors with a 3.5x optical telephoto, full OIS, and an IP69K rating, which means it can handle high-pressure steam jets, not just rain. It ships with Android 16 out of the box. If this hits your region, it's worth the wait. But OnePlus isn't just targeting the ultra-premium tier right now. OnePlus Nord 6. They are dropping a phone that completely shatters the $500 price bracket. Again, my US folks, the mainline Nord series is usually a global exclusive, meaning you'd have to import this one. But for everyone watching in the UK, Australia, India, and beyond, this is your next phone. Mark your calendars. The Nord 6 is being marketed as fast and cool, and after one look at the specs, that confidence is completely justified. The headline? A 9,000 mAh silicon carbon battery. The largest cell ever put in a phone at this price point, engineered for over 2.5 days of continuous use. And it still charges from 0 to full in roughly 70 minutes via 80-watt Super VOOC. The display is a 6.78-inch 1.5K Sunburst HDR AMOLED panel, also 165Hz, also hitting 3,600 nits, with Aqua Touch 2.0, so wet fingers won't slow you down mid-game. For performance, you get the Snapdragon 8's Gen 4 with a dedicated touch reflex chip running a 3,200Hz sampling rate and a 6-axis gaming gyroscope. OnePlus claims this is the first device capable of sustained 165 frames per second in titles like BGMI and Call of Duty Mobile. Colorways include holographic Quicksilver, Fresh Mint, and a low-reflection pitch black. If you're hunting for the best battery life meets gaming phone under $500 this year, the Nord 6 is setting the new global standard on April 7th. Alright, phones with massive batteries and gaming specs. That's one end of the spectrum. But what about creators? What about photographers who think smartphone cameras have already peaked? They haven't. Not even close. Vivo X300 Ultra 5G. This one is for the photographers, the videographers, the people who think the smartphone camera ceiling has been hit. It hasn't. The Vivo X300 Ultra is expected for an early April reveal, and the spec sheet reads like a cinema rig rental list. Main sensor, 200 megapixels with gimbal OIS, secondary lens, another 200 megapixel periscope telephoto, Zeiss T-Star optics throughout, support for 10-bit log video recording, and direct import of 3D LUTs into your color workflow. Things you'd usually need a dedicated camera and color suite to pull off. Under the hood, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, up to 16 gigabytes RAM, and 1 terabyte of UFS 4.1 storage. The display is a 6.82-inch LTPO AMOLED behind new armor glass, and the top-tier variant includes emergency satellite calling for when you're shooting off the beaten path. Battery, up to 7,000 mAh with 100-watt wired and 40-watt wireless charging, available in black, silver, and a striking red. For the photographer who refuses to compromise, this is the one to track. Now, if Vivo's 200-megapixel main sensor didn't get your attention, what if I told you OPPO took the same concept and added a third professional zoom range on top of it? OPPO Find X9 Ultra. OPPO and Hasselblad have deepened their partnership for the Find X9 Ultra, and the result is extraordinary. The main shooter, 200 megapixels. The periscope telephoto, another 200 megapixels. And then a third periscope lens, 50 megapixels, with 10x optical zoom at a 230mm focal length. 3 professional-grade zoom ranges on a single device. The display is a 6.82-inch LTPO AMOLED panel behind nanocrystal glass, running at 144 Hz with 3600 nits peak brightness. Inside, Snapdragon 8, Elite Gen 5, 16 gigabytes RAM, up to 1 terabyte UFS 4.1 storage, and a 7050 mAh silicon carbon battery with 100-watt wired and 50-watt wireless charging. You also get 4K video at 120 frames per second, 10-bit Dolby Vision support, IP69 water resistance, a premium eco-leather finish, and an optional satellite messaging variant. The Find X9 Ultra is shaping up to be the definitive Android flagship of 2026. If you want the best of the best, wait for this reveal. Okay, we've done phones. Let's talk about the people who need something that sits on a desk or fits in a bag but handles work that most computers simply can't. Developers, engineers, 3D artists. Here's your April. Lenovo ThinkPad P14s Gen 7. The ThinkPad P14s Gen 7 Intel Edition was officially unveiled on March 16th, with the AMD variant already hitting shelves now. Here's what actually matters for your work. It runs Intel's new Panther Lake Core Ultra Series 3 processors, up to 16 cores, very fast, with an NVIDIA Blackwell GPU built in. The bottom line on AI performance: it can run powerful local AI models without touching the cloud. If you're doing local LLM development or CAD, this chip handles it without breaking a sweat. The display is a 3K screen with a variable 120Hz refresh rate and full professional color accuracy. Good enough for color-graded video work. It weighs just 3.6 pounds, has a customer replaceable battery, and supports Wi-Fi 7. Intel variant ships globally. Starting May, AMD is available now. If your work follows you everywhere and needs serious horsepower, this is the bag-friendly workstation for the first half of 2026. From a laptop that's all business to a phone that's been reinventing itself for years and might have finally nailed it. Motorola Razr 70. Flip phones have always made a compromise somewhere. With the Razr 70, Motorola seems determined to remove every single one of them. The device appeared in TENAA certification records on March 6th, practically a launch announcement by itself, strongly pointing toward an April debut. Leaked internals point to the base model rocking up to 12 gigabytes of RAM, while the top-tier Razr 70 Ultra will reportedly push a massive 18 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage, all paired with a new octa-core chip clocked at 2.75 gigahertz, running Android 16 from day one. The big camera upgrade? Out goes the ultra-wide secondary lens, replaced by a dedicated 50-megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom. A real zoom lens on a foldable, something the competition still hasn't figured out. You still get the 6.9-inch main OLED, a 3.63-inch cover display, a 4,500 mAh battery, and a 7.2mm profile when unfolded. It's expected to launch alongside a more powerful Razr 70 Ultra in the same window. For anyone who wants the most feature-rich flip phone ever made without paying ultra pricing, patience will pay off here. Speaking of things that have been long overdue, Microsoft's flagship tablet hasn't had a real overhaul in a while. That changes in April. Microsoft Surface Pro 12 13-inch, the AI 2-in-1 redefined. Microsoft's Surface Pro lineup is getting its biggest overhaul in years, and all signs point to a major spring unveiling this April. The key upgrade here is the new Snapdragon X Elite chip. Think of it as the ARM processor that Microsoft is betting its entire AI future on. It can run Microsoft's next-generation agentic AI features entirely on-device. No internet connection required. For the non-technical version, your Surface will be able to think and take actions for you locally without sending your data to the cloud. Physically, the 13-inch model is expected to finally get the slim, uniform bezel design from the smaller version, making it a real competitor to the 13-inch iPad Pro. The display is rumored to return to OLED with 120Hz and new glare-reducing glass. Configurations reportedly go up to 64GB of RAM and 2TB of replaceable SSD storage. An Intel Panther Lake variant may also be shown for users who need broader app compatibility. Whether you want ARM efficiency or Intel muscle, April 20th, 2026 is when Microsoft sets the new benchmark. Now, tablets for professionals, that's one thing. But what about students and digital artists who want a powerhouse that doesn't cost a fortune? Lenovo has an answer, and it's been sitting on coming soon for a few weeks now. Lenovo IdeaTab Pro Gen 2. Most tablets in this price range force you to choose either a great display or a great stylus or great speakers. The IdeaTab Pro Gen 2 ships with all three already in the box. No extra purchases required. It's a 13-inch tablet. The folio case and Tab Pen Plus are included, not sold separately. The display is a 3.5K panel running at 144Hz with near-perfect professional color accuracy, backed by quad JBL speakers with Dolby Atmos. At just 6.2mm thick and 598 grams, it's one of the thinnest large-screen tablets available anywhere. The Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 inside powers built-in AI study tools, AI notes, live transcript, and a smart reader that works offline. Battery: 10,200 mAh with 45-watt fast charging. Android 16 out of the box with guaranteed security updates through 2030. If you're a student, an artist, or both, this is the one to bookmark. Alright, everything we've covered so far is either already out or dropping in the next few weeks. But one device on today's list didn't wait for April. It launched at the end of March, and it completely changes what a drone can do. DJI Avata 360. Above it all, see it all. This one dropped March 26th, and it's already rewriting the rulebook on aerial imaging. Now, quick note for my US pilots. Due to current regulations, you'll likely have to go through third-party retailers rather than official DJI channels to get this, but it is out there. DJI has officially confirmed the Avata 360, and it's reimagining the flight experience with 1-inch flagship imaging sensors capable of capturing 8K per 60 frames per second, HDR video in full 360 degrees. You can capture 8K video or 120 megapixel spherical photos with a single tap, and the drone disappears from the footage entirely, leaving a pure open view. It's essentially two drones in one. Seamlessly switch from 360-degree mode to single lens mode for classic Avatar-style filming in 4K per 60 frames per second. For pilots, O4 plus Full HD video transmission delivers stable live feeds up to 20 kilometers. Pair it with RC2 for precise control, or use Goggles 3 and RC Motion 3 for immersive FPV where the view moves with your head. Safety is serious here. Forward-facing LiDAR provides omnidirectional obstacle sensing, even at night. The integrated propeller guard means you can fly confidently in tighter spaces. Active Track, 360-degree and spotlight. Free lock onto your subject and assist camera movement automatically, making epic shots accessible even for beginners. In post, the creative options are essentially unlimited. Reframe from any angle, rotate the horizon, zoom into asteroid effects, or add a natural FPV roll effect after the fact. Price starts at approximately $499 for the drone-only configuration. If you've been thinking about FPV or 360 aerial footage, there is nothing else like this right now. Okay, from the sky back down to your ears, Apple just did something no one expected, a surprise announcement that finally fixes the most neglected product in the entire AirPods lineup. AirPods Max 2. Apple dropped the AirPods Max 2 on March 16th with zero leaks, zero rumors. It was a total surprise. Pre-orders opened March 25th, and units start arriving April 1st. Price, $549. The original AirPods. Max had Apple's 2019-era H1 chip for over 5 years. The Max 2 finally gets the H2 chip, the same one already in AirPods Pro, and the difference is significant. Active noise cancellation is up to 1.5x more effective than the original. But the real additions are the intelligent features. Live translation. Hold the button and it translates whoever is speaking directly into your ear in real time, powered by Apple Intelligence. Conversation awareness automatically lowers your music and amplifies nearby voices when you start talking. Adaptive audio adjusts noise cancellation levels automatically depending on whether you're in a quiet office or a noisy street. Sound quality gets a genuine upgrade too. A new high dynamic range amplifier adds more headroom for richer bass and better instrument localization. Lossless audio and ultra-low latency via USB-C wired connection is now fully supported, which is a big deal for audiophiles and creators working in Logic Pro. Same knit mesh canopy and memory foam cushions. Same 20 hours of battery life. 5 colors: midnight, starlight, blue, purple, and orange. If you've been holding off on premium over-ear headphones, the wait is over. From Apple's premium headphones to Samsung's new answer for everyone who wants flagship AI features without a flagship price tag. Samsung Galaxy A57 5G. Here's the question Samsung is asking with the A57. What if you could get most of what makes the Galaxy S26 special without spending Galaxy S26 money? The Galaxy A57 5G launches in the US on April 9th, starting at $549.99 for the 8GB and 128GB model, and $609.99 for 8GB and 256GB. Unlocked in Awesome Navy from Samsung directly. Best Buy will carry a gray-green version. Amazon will have Awesome White. The display is a 6.7-inch FHD Plus Super AMOLED Plus panel with slimmer bezels, 120Hz refresh rate, and vision booster that pushes up to 1,900 nits outdoors, significantly brighter than last year's model. Metal frame this time, not plastic. At just 6.9mm thin, it's also noticeably lighter than the A56. The processor is Samsung's Exynos 1680, with a 13% larger vapor chamber compared to last year for better sustained performance during gaming. Camera setup: 50-megapixel OIS wide-angle main, 12-megapixel ultra-wide, 5-megapixel macro, and a 12-megapixel front camera with Super HDR video support. Nightography is improved too. The enhanced ISP noticeably reduces noise in low-light situations. But the real pitch for the A57 isn't the specs. It's the support commitment. 6 major OS upgrades and 6 years of security updates. You're not buying a mid-range phone for 1 or 2 years. You're buying something you can keep until 2032 without falling behind on software. And with IP68 water resistance and Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on both front and back, it's built to survive that long. For under $600, that combination is genuinely hard to beat right now. And while we're talking about value, let's talk about the phone that Apple released this month that instantly made every discounted older iPhone look like a bad deal. iPhone 17e. If you've been eyeing a discounted iPhone 16, stop. The iPhone 17e launched on March 11th, and it makes every older model look like the wrong choice. Starting price, $599 with a base storage of 256GB, double what you got in the previous generation at the same price. It runs the same A19 chip found in the standard iPhone 17, which means years of 4K streaming, AAA gaming performance, and full Apple Intelligence support, including cleanup and live translation. Durability takes a major step forward with Ceramic Shield 2, which Apple claims offers 3x better scratch resistance than the iPhone 16e. For the first first time on the E lineup, you get full MagSafe at 15-watt wireless charging and the new C1X modem for up to 2x faster 5G connectivity. The 48-megapixel Fusion camera supports 2x optical quality telephoto zoom and next-generation portrait mode with adjustable post-capture focus. Battery life, 26 hours of video playback, and 50% charge in just 30 minutes. iOS 26 ships right out of the box. This is the most complete budget iPhone Apple has ever made. If you're in the Apple ecosystem and don't need a Pro, this is the one. And finally, for the professionals in the room who need something in an entirely different league, we're talking WeFX Studios, AI research labs, 3D architects. Here's the machine that was built specifically for you. Lenovo ThinkStation P5 Gen 2, 48 cores, dual Blackwell GPUs. Freshly detailed in March 2026, the ThinkStation P5 Gen 2 is Lenovo's most powerful desktop workstation ever built. Here's what that actually means in plain terms. The CPU, Intel Xeon with up to 48 cores. Think of it as 48 processors running simultaneously. The GPU setup, 2 NVIDIA RTX Pro 6000 Blackwell cards, each with 96 gigabytes of dedicated video memory. That's 192 gigabytes total GPU memory. For real-time 3D rendering, large-scale AI model training, or visual effects work that used to require a server rack, this tower handles it. Total AI compute reaches 3,511 TOPS. To put that in perspective, your average high-end gaming PC does roughly 100 TOPS. You're getting 35 times that. In a tower you can put under a desk. Storage and memory scale accordingly, up to 1 terabyte of DDR5 RAM, 4M2 PCIe Gen 5 SSD slots, 7 total storage drives, dual PCIe 5.0 expansion slots, and Wi-Fi 7, tool-free chassis, front access hot swap bays, certified for Windows 11 Pro workstations, and Linux. Built with recycled materials and FSC certified packaging. This isn't a consumer product. But if you've been waiting for workstation-grade AI and rendering power in a form that doesn't require a data center, this is the machine for 2026. And that right there is the complete April 20th, 2026 tech rundown. From a 9,000 mAh gaming phone to an 8K FP, we drone that launched yesterday. From Apple's smartest budget iPhone, already in stores, to a workstation that could power a production house. Two quick things to keep in mind. The iPhone 17e and the Samsung A57 are already here or days away, so if those are on your radar, don't sleep on them. Everything else drops across the next few weeks, and full breakdowns are coming the moment they land in the studio. Now, I want to hear from you. Which device is making you hold back on buying something today? Are you waiting on the OPPO Find X9 Ultra? Picking up the AirPods Max 2 right now? Or is the DJI Avata 360 the one that got you? Drop your pick in the comments. I read every single one. If this breakdown saved you from a purchase you'd regret, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people before they make the same mistake. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because real-world tests of everything on this list are coming up next. I'll see you in the next one.